at 5:46 p.m. Thank you. We'll do a roll call for our board members present. Mr. Stroh is absent for this meeting. Any public comments on closed session items? Seeing none, we'll adjourn to closed session. 7:05 p.m. Thank you everybody for being here. We have a roll call of our board members. All board members except Mr. Stroh are present. And if we can request our superintendent to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Yes, please stand. Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we have a report from our closed session. Conference with legal counsel, existing litigation. Case OAH 2025040114. Mr. Nava motion, Mr. Porter second to approve the case OAH 2025040114 by the following vote of 6 ayes and 1 absent. Mr. Stroh is absent. Conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation, claim 654112. Ms. McFarland motion, Ms. Alexander second, and the board rejects the claim 654112 by the following vote of 6 yes and 1 absent, where Mr. Stroh is absent. Personnel matters, public employees employment. Mr. Nava motion, Ms. McFarland second, and board approves the placement of Shantae Shortner as the College and Career Program Coordinator, effective 2025-26 school year by the following vote of 5 ayes, 0 no, 0 abstain, 1 absent, 1 recused, where Mr. Stroh is absent and Mr. Porter recused. We have a motion from Mr. Porter and a second from Mr. Nava for the approval of placement of Dietre Hill Valdivia as the Alternative Program Vice Principal at Turner Academy, effective 2025-26 school year by the following vote of 6 ayes and 1 absent, where Mr. Stroh is absent. Mr. Porter motion and Mr. Nava second, and the board approves the placement of Jennifer Fawcett as the Elementary Vice Principal, location to be determined, effective 2025-26 school year by the following vote of 6 ayes and 1 absent. Mr. Stroh is absent. Ms. Alexander motion and Mr. Porter second, that the board approve the placement of Amy Marzarski as the Elementary Vice Principal, location to be determined, effective 2025-26 school year by the following vote of 6 yes and 1 absent. Mr. Stroh is absent. And that is from our closed session. We had some public hearings to be done today. Declare the intent to convey street easement, Vinewood Elementary School, open. Do we have any board comments on this? Any public comments? Seeing none, I declare this public hearing closed. We declare the Lodi Pupil Personnel Association reopeners for a successor agreement open. Any board comments on this? Any public comments? Seeing none, we declare the public hearing closed. Declare this California School Employees Association reopeners for the 2025-26 school year open. Any board comments on this? Any public comments? Seeing none, we declare the public hearing closed. And we have the superintendent's report.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Ball, members of the board. We know the short summer time is difficult to get work done to prepare for the new school year, but a lot is going on throughout the district. And so we've got a quick little video snapshot of all the different projects, or at least some of the different projects. There's many more happening than that, but this is just a quick little video so you can see firsthand just different work going on. And I'd also like to share with you that as we've had in previous summers, we have a great relationship with UOP, and many of our students have the opportunity to live at UOP and live out their college lifestyle for a couple weeks under the supervision of University of the Pacific. And so we'd like to show you the types of things going on out there. So without further ado, US Summer Institute. So as you can see, these are two examples of what is happening this summer in Lodi Unified, but that is just a few of many things happening. We have summer school going on, we have summer interventions happening with the LOP, we have EL summer programs for our English learners, and even though it is summertime and many people take 7 or 8 weeks off, not in Lodi Unified, because we have a lot of great things happening for our students and a lot of updates to our facilities. So with that, I have nothing else to share.
Thank you.
Mr. Young, how many students are participating in the UOP program?
I'll have to get you those numbers because there's actually 2 different sessions. We are just starting the second session today, which runs through next week. I can get you those numbers. Unless you can just pull a rabbit out of your hat and give me the exact number.
We were scheduled to max out at 450, and we had a waiting list at last count of 750 that wanted to go.
Well, thank you.
You pulled it out of a rabbit hat. Pull a rabbit out of a hat, so.
That's a great program. Thank you for sharing that. Do we have any public comments on consent agenda A? The public may address the board on consent agenda A, routine business. Each public speaker shall limit their comments to 3 minutes, and if you can speak your first and last name before addressing the board, please.
Hi, Anselina Garcia. Sorry, I have many notes. Consent agenda A. Oh, I don't need that. I'm done. Okay, A1, I was curious, there's another attorney getting $300,000 for SELPA, and the last time we paid the attorney $300,000 and then $300,000 before that, we were told that they work for special education. A8, West Ed, $1.5 million. What is that for? And that's about the same. It gets 1% for all teachers to get retro is about the same amount of money. Preschool, number 1, oh, that's, never mind. That's my consent A. I'll be back. So those are questions. $300,000 and then $1.5 million for West Ed. Thank you.
Would the board or staff like to pull any items from consent agenda A?
Pull A1, please.
A1. Can I have a motion for the A2?
Madam Chairman, I vote that we approve consent agenda 8, the rest of them.
Second.
Thank you. Can we have board vote, please? It just thinks it's not giving us an option to say yes or no.
It just says in red.
Let me do a clear record.
Mm-hmm. Good, we will again. Join meeting on the side. Sorry, technical difficulties. Thank you.
That's all I get.
Yeah, same thing. And yours is a joint meeting.
Oh, you're not on the script.
You're on stage. So I joined and then I voted. Oh.
So you joined it and you got that?
And then it kicked me out again. Oh.
Yeah, but if you're minutes.
So hit join meeting.
I don't know, how does she have a vote?
I did that before too, and then it popped up.
This is what I got. Should I get out and come back in?
Okay, I will try that.
Yeah, do it. Reverse page, reverse page.
Should I name?
Just try refreshing it.
I'm getting the same thing.
I think it's saying to take a summer break.
If I don't, I'm going home.
So
I'm not relying on it.
I'd take a log out and then log back in.
I don't want to do this because I'm afraid I'll never.
It didn't help me.
I did the same, I didn't from that.
I'm getting this every time.
You know what's interesting is
I
now I
logged
see your
out.
guys' votes. There could be
I had the same thing.
Oh, you always haven't been able to?
No, now, like all of a sudden. See? So, I just says that Mr. Nava has it.
I always love when companies do updates and then we get to live out their updates. ESB just did an update this week.
Oh, didn't it?
We can do an oral one.
I think the update was that you get locked out of voting electronically based on what
Can
I'm
we
saying.
take a verbal vote and we can come back
Yep.
to it once it's all back in? Thank you.
Absolutely.
I just relogged in.
It worked really well after.
Let's take a verbal vote while Michael sets it all up for items A2 to A15. Ms. Letterman, can I have your vote, please? We're just taking a verbal vote.
Aye.
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 Hi.
Hi.
Thank you, motion passes. 6-0, 1 absent. And if we can, I can request Mr. Porter for A1, please.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm waiting, motion to take a look at A1, please.
Sure.
I'm hoping it comes up. It's off the routine business, so you can't pull it up there.
He will pull it up now.
Contract lists?
You're not in the meeting now.
I am.
Oh, you are in the contract?
I just can't vote, I'm in the meeting.
Oops. Dr. Balls, okay, go ahead.
Yes, please.
Okay. I have two areas. Of course, my feelings about the legal services, but in general, and then I want to slide down to item number 8. So I'll make a general comment after I make a comment about 8. My understanding is West Ed is to, and tell me if I'm wrong, this is Dr. Horton. So with all due respect, and I mean all due respect, Ted Lasso moment. On West Ed, they're providing assessments and developing Title I school improvement services. Why are we doing this? And is it because our administrators can't do that? I'm talking about district, not site. Why are we going with a supplemental outside source to help us do what we should be doing? I know with LCAP we did the same thing. West Ed did a lot of the work because I saw that it had been lifted from the West Ed report into the LCAP. This is new because this is new to me. West Ed with the LCAP and then West Ed here. Why are we doing this? And the amount of money is quite significant. So I'm asking, is our district administration overwhelmed? Our site administration overwhelmed? Are we trying to help teachers? I mean, this is a lot of money. And so that's one question. My second question is, there's a lot of services. Did this go out to bid? So we have two questions. One, why are we doing this? Was this because of the lack of resources, or are we trying to make better use of Title I money, or are administrators just not being up to snuff? And I'm just trying to figure out why we're dropping 1.5 million. And then the second thing is, do we take this out to bid? And the reason why I say that is, another entity in the city is under a lot of criticism right now for no bid contracts. And they're getting a lot of heat because they just went along and said yay to all of it, or aye to all of it, without asking why there was no other bids. And the same thing goes for Perry and Villarreal. So my main concern though is the 1.5 million, because that affects kids and learning and so forth. What was the problem? What was the data? What drove us to this decision?
Yeah, so on the West Ed, this is in particular for the Title I schools.
Right.
This is to help the administrators and the principals in particular as they're developing their single plans for student achievement. So this is not something that the principals, for instance, they couldn't do on their own. They could, but one of the great advantages to having an outside entity be able to provide that service, especially a reputable one like West Ed that does work all around the country, is that it allows them to generate voice for teachers, parents, and others to share back. It allows the school site council, the principal, to take that, understand it, and develop a plan to address what's happening with students that need to improve their achievement. So there's a direct tie to the data that's gathered and then what they're going to do with it. When that service is divided up across all the Title I sites, it's a significant amount of money, yes, but by site for the Title I money that they receive, I would say that's a pretty good use of Title I money. In lieu of spending it on personnel, which can be problematic over time, finding ways to spend Title I money, we still end up with a surplus of Title I money when it goes out. So the benefit and the perceived benefit, as we've heard back from principals on what that kind of service meant to them, the voice they received, and what they were able to get as data and a survey voice back from parents, stakeholders, and so forth, was priceless. The other piece too was in hearing the level of support and what that meant to have an outside entity be able to come and interview students, staff, and parents, and have it be from someone that didn't have to be at the school, so they didn't have to feel like someone was going to judge them or feel that they were leaning one way or the other. Also gave them a lot of data to work with. The other piece too is then being able to take whatever data was gathered and create an action plan for it is very valuable. So having people that are expert in that world to be able to say, if we want to raise student achievement, more participation, more staff participation, things that can be of great benefit. I think having that agency be able to do, or that company be able to do that is also quite valuable. To your earlier question about did it go to bid, I would have to research whether or not that did. I don't know that answer tonight.
So if I were to summarize, and please correct me if I'm wrong, basically we don't have the resources here to provide what they're providing, or our resources here are jaded, because that's what it kind of sounded like. And by bringing in an outside entity, we get a clearer picture of what's actually going on. That's kind of what I got from your answer.
I don't know if I would use the word jaded. I might say inherent bias of being internal, not jaded. As far as having staff be able to do the work, it's not that people wouldn't be capable of doing that work. I just think that you're going to get a less biased response from people being able to share with an outsider rather than someone from the inside.
All right, that's fair. Now, obviously, if you're not a Title I school, what are we doing for them?
So that's a good question. So we've been looking at ways that we can still provide a similar service, but not under the same umbrella, because obviously if it's something that we provide to every site, then that would be that supplement versus supplant issue that can happen with Title I. So we have to be very careful to provide an extra service to what Title I schools can provide or receive. Otherwise, that would run afoul of the Title I spending rules.
Okay. So you're not sure about the bid process out there?
I'm not sure about that. I'd have to research that.
I appreciate your candor. Thank you.
Any other comments from the board?
Chairman, I move we approve item A1.
Can I have a second, please?
Second.
And a board vote, please.
I can't vote. My thing's all doing the same thing.
We'll take a verbal vote for this one as well, because mine's not on either. If I can start with Mr. Porter, please.
I will be a nay.
Aye.
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 Motion passes 5 ayes, 1 nay, and 1 absent. While they're working on technical difficulties, we'll move on to public comments on consent agenda B. The public may address the board on consent agenda B, student matters. Each public speaker shall limit comments to 3 minutes, and if you can please speak your first and last name before you address the board.
No worries. Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Just, oh, that's fine. We'll let you guys figure it out later. Thank you so much, Michael.
Madam Chairman, I move we approve the consent agenda B.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Nara. Ms. McFarland, if we can have a board vote, please. We'll start with Ms. Letterman. She stepped out. We do have the majority
Yeah.
of the board present, so, okay. Go ahead, Ms. McFarland.
Hold on, she may be walking back in.
No.
We're voting on consent agenda.
We've taken a vote for consent agenda B. We have a motion on the floor. That's okay. Student discipline.
Oh,
It's a verbal.
Yeah, verbal.
oh, aye.
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 Thank you. Motion passes 6 ayes, 1 absent.
Can you clarify who was the second vote, the second on the?
McFarland.
Thank you.
Public comments on other action items. The public may address the board on other action items. Each public speaker shall limit their comments to 3 minutes, and if they can please speak their first and last name before they address the board.
Hello, Billy Yates, and I am the teacher. And thank you, Dr. Ball, and members of the board, and Superintendent Young, and Ms. Church for our emails back and forth this week. And also I'd like to thank Ms. Aiken, who helped me, because I'm speaking to other action item, I believe number 2. And I've learned that it has an acronym, I think it's correctly called ADON. And it's to get emergency credentials for teachers, which is a necessary thing. I came in as an intern, but it also is a sign that we're not getting a whole lot of students who are coming from our colleges that already have their credentials, and that we just got to get in. It also, I was clarified, we publicly stated that there were 45 out of 100 dons on there, and we're like, this is the first time we had the actual numbers, some numbers, to say who's in special ed. But I want to publicly state that it was shared with me that we need 6 resource specialist teachers, 6 mild moderate teachers, 5 moderate severe teachers, and 13 moderate severe structure teachers, for a total of a need of 30 special education teachers before next year. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Andrew Robinson. I'm the father of Lily Robinson, as you well know. My daughter currently attends Heritage Elementary in the 4th grade special ed class. We moved her from Lawrence because she had a long-term general education substitute for a teacher, and her behavior at home reflected that in a negative way. Our only option was to move her to a site with a special education intern as a teacher. I'm here tonight concerned for several reasons. Since Lily's attended LUSD, previous parents have stated, new incoming parents, that if their child doesn't get it by the 5th grade, the district essentially gives up and becomes a daycare. My daughter, my family, and I are all approaching that as she is in the 4th grade, and she'll be going in 5th grade. When Lily was born in 2014, the rate of autism was 1 in 59. Today it is 1 in 31. Lily has not had a certified special education teacher since preschool and kindergarten. She has had substitutes, interns, or induction teachers the rest of the time. With the rate of autism diagnosis nearly doubling in 10 years, what are you guys doing to prepare for that? I do have some questions here. What hiring events and job fairs did the district actually attend this year, not just sign up to do? Are there enough autism coaches to support current and incoming teachers, and how many will be available to them? Since mainstream special ed seems to be the new thing, how many paras will continue to be in special day class or even RSP? How many paras are actually Lodi Unified School District employees and are not contracted employees from outside companies? The lack of stability in teachers and paras creates an unstable education environment for our students. What is the number of special day class teachers and RSP teachers needed to have all the SPED classrooms covered? And how many will be from outside contracts or general education substitutes? As directed by the board back in 2023, I will email my questions to your appointed point of contact for me, Superintendent Neil Young. I do expect an answer. The other question I do have is, your funding for SPED since 2022 till now has increased an additional $9 million, and yet we're still here in the same place where I was 2 years ago, asking for a teacher and asking for everything else. And yet the classrooms aren't changing, retention isn't changing. Where's the money going? Like, what are we doing for these kids? Like, there's a phrase, and I really hate saying it. It's a military phrase, and it's embrace Lee. I'm sure you can figure it out. And it's one of those phrases that I feel like this district needs to start embracing. Autism isn't going away. The numbers are getting greater. It's time you guys take action and help these children. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Tiffany Smith. Bear with me, I'm not used to public speaking. Good evening, members of the school board. Thank you for giving me a few minutes to speak tonight. As a parent, I'm here not just to advocate for my own child, but for children who may benefit from the kind of support that made the world a difference for my family. My son has autism, and when he first started school, it was not an easy road. There were times that we thought that he may never actually speak, but due to the support staff, the teachers, the paraprofessionals, my son now can speak full sentences. Excuse me. As many of you probably know, children with autism have unique needs, and those needs don't always fit into the traditional mold of a classroom. It wasn't just the academic help that made the difference. It was the way his teachers got to know him as an individual, understanding his challenges, but also recognized his strengths. They didn't just teach him the curriculum, they taught him how to engage and how to communicate and how to feel confident in his own skin. But here's the thing, we were really lucky. As you guys just heard, some parents are not that lucky to have that with their children. Classrooms are overcrowded, caseloads are high, and teachers are doing everything they can to provide personalized attention to each student. But it's hard when the resources just aren't there, when they're trying to meet the needs of so many different kids. It's easy to worry that some may not get the support that they truly deserve. That's why I'm standing here tonight asking for more special education teachers. Not just because my child benefited, but because I know that every child deserves the same opportunity to succeed. Kids with disabilities can do incredible things when they're given the tools and support. My son is proof of that, and he's now excelling in school, participating in activities, and most importantly, building confidence in himself every single day. But we can't rely on luck, and we need to make sure that every student, regardless of their needs, has access to the kind of personalized care and support that makes all the difference. We need to make sure that teachers don't have to choose between giving a struggling student the time that they need and getting through the day's lesson plan. This isn't just about providing a quality education, it's about giving every child a chance to reach their potential regardless of the challenges that they face. I truly believe that we must invest in special education teachers. We can help more students like my son, and even students who may not be as lucky as he was to thrive. Thank you for your time and your consideration of the needs of all of our children. I know that your support, and we can continue to make the school places that for every child, regardless of ability, is given a chance to be successful. Thank you.
Good evening, my name's April Grover, and I have autistic triplets who attend Sutherland Elementary. I'd like to thank the board members for giving me the opportunity to speak tonight. I'm a parent who's a member of PTA, also the site council at my school, and I'm very concerned about the success and the future of not just my students, but all the students in the future here at the district. I'd like to address the critical staffing shortages, not just at my school, but through the entire district. It's not a new problem, but it's reached a critical point. It's significantly impacting the quality of education that our students are receiving. The shortages exist across many positions, including teachers, substitute teachers, and paraprofessionals. I've had the opportunity firsthand to visit 5 different campuses over the last 3 months in our district, visiting both structured and non-structured classrooms, trying to find a classroom for my son that will fit his needs. 5 of these classrooms had substitute teachers. One of them in specific, there's 0 artwork on the wall. There was no engagement with the children. To me, it looked like a child prison. The subpar education that's provided by substitute teachers is just unacceptable. I don't know if the parents that were in these classrooms actually know what's being done to their children, but it's unacceptable. I just found out that there's 30 positions that haven't been filled. That's 30 classrooms where these children are going to be subjected to this kind of education. Prioritizing and addressing these issues of the staffing shortage needs to be urged. Students deserve the best education possible, which starts with having the necessary staff. Working together to create a brighter future for our students and our children is the goal. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Hi, Anzuela Garcia, and normally Lisa would be here to ask these questions, and I don't want to take away from the important things they're saying. I have some other action items, but I have to do it all at one time, correct? Okay. So the first one is, I gotta scroll. Other action item number 1 about preschool teachers. We're cutting their hours by 0.5, so instead of 6.5 hours, they're getting 6 hours. My question is, why the change in hours? Was it something that should be at the bargaining table? And don't we need them to have as many hours as possible? Because we know the sooner we reach those kids, the better. So that's action item 1. Action item 2, the other teachers have talked about this. And we posted a note about coming to the meeting tonight because this was on the agenda. And a local teacher she lives in Lodi but works someplace else. She says, if Lodi wants to fill those spots with quality teachers coming into the district, then they need to rethink their salary and benefits. I'm switching districts for next school year, and while I would love to teach in Lodi and have no commute between the low salary and the high benefit costs, I can't afford to, especially not when I can just make a short commute to so many other places in exchange for more money and better benefits. Not even touching the benefits portion of this and just talking about the salary portion, here are some comparisons for anyone interested. Note that I have a master's degree as well, which contributes to the following numbers. For the position I would be on the Lodi's salary schedule, in Lodi, I would make $74,941 minus the cost of benefits. And then she goes on to list all the other neighboring schools. So I will send that to you in an email. I do email you. I don't always hear from you, but I do email. Another teacher said, when I was applying for the 2022-23 school year to be an intern, one of my summer school pre-service classmates applied to Lodi, Stockton, and Lincoln. This is before Miss Church, so this is not you. Stockton called back in 2 days, Lincoln took a week, and Lodi took over 2 weeks. By the time Lodi called me, she'd already accepted a position elsewhere. You know, you're gonna take you love the one you're with, right? You're gonna, the one that calls you first, you're gonna take that job. That's just one specific example, and after talking to other classmates at my intern program, it was the same story. Lodi Unified was slow to call teachers for interviews. Every child in our school deserves a dedicated teacher to their classroom, and I work at a place where interns are, and I've already gotten 3 calls from teachers who are calling for their principals to say, do you know someone? And I have a class I just finished 60 hours of teaching in the last 2 weeks, and most of the people in those classes already have jobs. And almost everyone that I have another class that's happening right now, and almost everyone there has jobs. One gal is looking at TK for Lodi and also a CTE job, but she hasn't heard back. So, I'll talk to you. What they're saying is so important. Our kids that don't have voice are being voiced by their parents. I'm not just here to talk for teachers, but we advocate. When I have an IEP meeting, I sit next to the parent, because the first person I advocate for is for the kid, and then the parent. And that's what we're doing tonight.
Good afternoon, everybody, and thanks for having me. My name is Jasmine Simmons McDaniels. I am a parent and the co-founder of I'll Rise, a grassroots organization supporting developmentally disabled kids and adults in Stockton and Lodi. I want to speak in support of hiring special education teachers with emergency credentials. Many of these educators already have the heart, training, and education. They just don't have the form of credential yet. Right now, too many special education classrooms are sitting empty or with substitutes. We need to actively recruit these teachers and help them once they get in there. As a paraprofessional from an outside company, working in a classroom with rotating substitutes is hard on the paras. We have no support. So with that being said, our kids deserve stable, caring educators, and these teachers deserve the tools to succeed. Let's give everybody a real chance. Thank you.
Question, I had another action item, but I think I used my time, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I'll bring that. Wait.
Ms. Kurskik, if you can just send all an email,
Okay.
and you can,
But no one emails me.
I had some time left over.
So, no, that's okay, I'll just talk about it.
we'll move on to our other action items. Item OAI1, reduction in child care. Yes.
May I request something?
Sure.
I wonder if Ms. Church could give us a report on the shortage of teachers in special ed and that type of thing. Is it possible?
Absolutely.
I add to that.
Thank you, Ms. Church.
Sure, please.
Can we also still get another report from SEPLA on the current status and compliance as requested at the last board meeting?
I'll defer that to Mr. Young.
Can you clarify that for me, please, Victoria?
The last board meeting, I had to ask for a report from the head of SEPLA on their process and things that are going on in SEPLA and SPED specifically.
Mrs. Linderman, I'll have to follow up with you individually to figure out exactly what you want. And you said SEPLA, is it the SELPA that you're referring to?
Whatever Paul does.
So he plays two roles. He is the area director of special ed in the district, but he is also the SELPA director over all the other small districts in our area.
Okay.
So you were specifically wanting information
On
that was...
SPED, and then let's work on SPED.
Okay, we'll follow up with you on that.
Perfect.
Thank you. We have the other action item 1, reduction in child care permit teacher services resolution 2025-71. Ms. Church?
President Ball, members of the board, before you is a resolution for a reduction for 2 preschool teachers for a reduction of 1/2 of an hour for their day, for your approval.
Board comments on this, please? Just a quick, I'm sorry, Mr. Nama, I was going to ask, is it just for 2 positions?
Correct.
Not across the board, just 2 people or 2 positions?
There are 2 impacted employees.
Okay. So total 1 hour.
A half an hour for each one.
Thank you. Mr. Nahum,
I move we approve this item.
Thank you.
Please.
may I have a second, please?
Second.
And a board vote, we'll do a verbal board vote. Mr. Porter, may I start with you?
Aye.
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 Motion passes 6 ayes, 1 absent. Item OAI 2, declaration of need for fully qualified educators. Ms. Church?
Yes, before you is our annual declaration of need for your approval.
Ms. Ball, I move that we approve item OAI 2.
If I may take a step back and ask if there's any board comments on this.
Okay, sorry.
I have a quick comment.
Yes.
So, Ms. Church, these are the areas that we are trying to fill, or have been filled, or going to be filled, or not filled?
So the declaration of need is an annual report that needs to be submitted to the CTC, and these are all areas where we may need an intern, or we may need a type of permit that is not fully credentialed. It also covers for misassignments, those teachers who are fully credentialed but are teaching outside of their credential area. The numbers on here do not necessarily represent vacancies. In fact, they should not be interpreted as representing individual vacancies.
That was my question. I was hoping for a job. There's 2 in biology. No, but I just wanted to know if these are potential vacancies or whatever.
They are estimates, and if we go over the estimate with these numbers, we have to resubmit.
Gotcha.
So.
Thank you. Just want to motion approved.
Second.
Thank you. If I can have a board vote, Ms. Lenderman, please?
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes 6 ayes, 1 absent. Item OAI 3, Local Control and Accountability Plan. Mr. Lambert?
Good evening, President Dr. Ball, members of the board, Superintendent Young. Before you is the Local Control and Accountability Plan, the LCAP, for your approval.
Motion approved.
Second.
No board comments? All right, I'll take the motion as presented. Can I have a board vote, please, Mr. Porter?
Aye.
Well, we've had so many discussions.
Yeah, we talked.
I know.
Aye.
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 Thank you. Motion passes 6 ayes, 1 absent. Thank you, Mr. Lambert. We have OAI 4, Local Control and Accountability Plan, Every Student Succeeds Act.
Good evening again, Dr. Ball, President Dr. Ball, members of the board, Superintendent Young. Before you for your approval is the Local Accountability Plan, Every Student Succeeds Act, the addendum for your approval.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We didn't have any comment.
Would you like to have comment, Mr.
No, I don't want to.
Okay. Thank you. Who's second? I'm sorry.
I did.
Okay. And if we can have a board vote, please, Ms. Lenderman?
Aye.
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 Motion passes 6 yes, 1 absent. Thank you, Mr. Lambert. Item OAI 5, 2025-26 budget adoption, Ms. Forrest.
All right. Good evening, President Dr. Ball, members of the board, and Superintendent Young. We are tonight before you is the proposed budget for fiscal year 2025. As you may recall, this was brought at the last board meeting as initial presentation and was available for public hearing. So tonight we're bringing back to you for approval, and also wanted to just let everybody know the proposed budget certifies that the district would have a positive cash balance and adequate reserves throughout the fiscal year 25-26. And in addition, the report also includes multi-year projection for which indicates that the district will meet or will meet its obligation not only for fiscal year 25-26, but also the 2 subsequent fiscal year. So again, bringing this back to you for approval. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Torres. Do we have any board comments on this?
I move we approve.
Second.
Thank you.
And I want to say something
Yes, sir.
to April. Make sure that we are good with that budget.
Absolutely.
With the county.
I sign my, I'm done.
Thank you, Ms. Torres. Okay, so after the motion, we have comments. Go for it, guys.
Thank you. I just want to say thank you because I sit in those CSBA meetings with school districts all over the state of California, and this is not the norm. So thank you. I don't know if anybody else has exposure to the amount of school districts that I do, but thank you. Thank you to everybody who works behind the scenes because this is not the normal in the state. So thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Torres, really do. May I have a board vote, please, Ms. Lindeman?
Aye.
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 Motion passes 6 yes, 1 absent. OAI 6, Resolution 2025-61, dedication of public street easement, Vinewood Elementary School Modernization Phase 3, project number 093682363401. You have to read it all. Ms. Holbert.
Good evening, President Dr. Ball, members of the board, Mr. Young. Maybe we can make those project numbers just a little bit longer for you. Before you this evening, with the previous public hearing, is a resolution for the dedication of the public easement at Vinewood Elementary School.
Any board comments for that?
I move we approve.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
And Mr. Porter, can you give us a board vote?
Aye.
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 Sorry, I was like waiting for it on the screen.
6 yes, 1 absent.
Yeah.
Public comments on reports. The public may address the board on reports. Each public speaker shall limit their comments to 3 minutes. And if you can please say your first and last name. Seeing none, we have a report on local priority indicator data review for the California School Dashboard. Mr. Lambert.
Good evening, President Dr. Ball, members of the board, Superintendent Young. For your review, the local priority indicator data review for the California Data Dashboard. It's a statutory requirement that we bring it when we bring the LCAP for approval. I'd like to introduce our coordinator, Uba Dahlman.
Good evening. As part of the LCAP adoption process, we are required to also report on the local priorities. So if we go to the next slide, please. So the local priorities are defined by the local control funding formula. We have them listed here. Very briefly, the basics is relates to staff, instructional materials, and school facilities. The priority 2 relates to implementation of academic state standards, and priority 3 relates to parent and family engagement. Priority 6 is related to school climate, and priority 7 is access to broad course of study. So the information that we use to report is collected locally at the district level, and it's done using 2 methods, surveys and responses to prompts. So all that information, the prompts, responses, and the data to the surveys are contained in the PDF that we have listed, the page numbers that we have listed. Eventually, this information is going to be reported to the California School Dashboard. And I know that was very brief, but that ends my portion. Are there any questions?
Any questions from the board? That was brief and precise. Thank you. Do we have any board advisory committee reports? Yeah. It's a subcommittee of the board on governance and policy review, yes. We're just figuring out what the name of that committee is that we met for. I can talk for it. It's Ms. Alexander and Ms. Letterman and Dr. Horton and Neil and as well as Edith. We were all part of this whole committee. Well conducted, enough information was provided, and we're just basically reviewing the policies before they come in for public viewing and for the board to vote on. So more information is given at the committee, more information is reviewed and talked about and discussed, and all these policies that come to you will be cleaned up before they come in. So I really appreciate everybody's time and effort for it. And if any clarifications are needed, please do email or contact Neil.
Yes, and
You can email me, I'll be happy to answer if you have any questions.
And point of clarification, as this continues down the road, this is something that would be considered a standing meeting, and because it'd be regular, and so looking specifically at board bylaws, we'll need to talk more about, as it becomes standing, making sure we post that so the public is aware of that review process. So looking at the board bylaws, that does exist in there, and we will have to talk through that. It's a weird time of year because it is summer, so as we look into the future and we look at dates that will work for the three of you, we'll also work on the t-shirts for your subcommittee, so you've got, no?
No.
Anything at
Absolutely not.
We'll need to be able to agendize that based on, I think it's 9130, is that correct, Mrs. Lindeman? Yep, so we'll talk more about that.
So a standing committee entails you will have specific dates set aside, predetermined, and available for the public to view.
So because it is an ongoing need, because the ed code changes constantly and board policies would be updated, that by legal definition would be a standing meeting in the future. So just publicizing that so the public is aware that once it goes into that standing, those meetings are ongoing. At that point, we would need to agendize that so the public is aware that that meeting is to look at and review those updates prior to it coming back to the board for consideration. That still has to happen with the majority of the board present.
Yeah, thank you. Just for everybody's information, this is a new committee that was formed the last few board meetings ago, and so we're still kind of figuring out the parameters of how to go about it. So as we finalize everything with Neil's assistant, we will make sure that you guys have more information on it. Thank you. Any other committee reports? All right, we'll move on to comments from the public. A 20-minute time period is allocated for the public to address the board on matters not listed on the agenda. Each speaker is limited to 3 minutes. If there are numerous speakers, speaker time may be adjusted. To share materials with the board, please provide them to the staff for distribution. Due to restrictions under the California Brown Act, the board cannot engage in discussion regarding public comments. Please do state your first and last name before you address the board. And we're just going to randomly pick one. April Grover?
Do you want to hear it again?
Oh, you already spoken it. Okay, you're good. You're good. Robinson, Andrew Robinson? Okay, thank you. Tiffany Smith, you spoke as well, thank you. I think we finished that. Jasmine McDaniels?
I already spoke.
Oh, perfect. You guys are awesome. And Bill Yates.
I'm not good enough chance. Yeah, sorry. Dr. Baum, Mr. Young. Thank you very much for Mr. Nava and Ms. Lenderman for putting your voice to this need of what we can do for our special needs students. We've had a great ESY so far. I've heard great things from other teachers. Nobody's reporting a negative. And we had a great time as ESY teachers. me and Miss Jackson, as a special ed committee for Leah, hosted a bowling time together and encouraged our paras and everybody to go to Lodi Bowl and had a great time together. So that was fun. We're trying on our end to create an environment that teachers have colleagues that they can rely on. I'm excited to be part of the residency program. I just met my resident for next year. That's wonderful. So we want to continue to do all these alternative ways to recruit. And I hope we can continue imaginative ways to recruit new teachers, including reaching out to our current paras to ask them if they would like to become special needs teachers. And thank you for the information. I will always do my best to report the correct information. So I hope our communication between Mr. Warren's office and us will be great going in the future. So thank you very much.
Thank you. We'll move on to comments from employee group representatives. The representatives from each employee group will have 5 minutes to comment on non-agendized items.
Hi, Dr. Ball, board, Mr. Young, everybody. Ansuela Garcia, I'm the vice president of Leah. Lisa is unable to be here tonight, so she asked me to speak. First, I want to thank all our teachers that are working SY, that are working summer school and camps throughout the district. Thank you to the teachers that are attending training and conferences all over the country, working during your summertime. All of your work makes experiences for our students better. I ran out of time and I want to talk about the budget, and there was this beautiful slideshow that wasn't shown to anyone. So I'm going to ask my questions there. Slide number 3, attendance, green bar keeps going up, up, up. Looks like it's not declining. Slide number 5, $32 million in books. I don't think we've ever about $32 million in books. Slide number 6, there was a bar that was really tall with extra money on it, and then it disappeared in the rest of the years. Where did that money go? Slide number 7, there's a couple words, and those words are commitments board resolution, $101 million. And then there's some other money, reserved money, and that reserved money comes up to 34 million in reserve, and that leaves 64 from that 101 million. So I wondered where that other 64 million went. So that's my question about the budget, which we didn't get to see the slideshow. But I wanted to thank those teachers for their work, and then I wanted to tell you that last week I ran into a former teacher and a coach. We had lunch together the next day, and she had heard that negotiations weren't going great, and she wanted to know why it was so stressful. And it didn't used to be that way. She said, we used to do interest-based bargaining. I said, you sound like Kelly. And I have to say, I don't know why we don't do that anymore. And I would say, let's build together, let's work together, let's build that trust together. And I was not at the last meeting because I was teaching, and Dr. Ball wanted to have people reach out with concerns. And I've reached out and I've heard back from 2 of you, and I believe some others have heard, but even just a note saying we read your email would be great. When I emailed about salary, someone had mentioned to me that you spoke to Mr. Young and that I had gotten a raise this last year. Well, the salary cells in my area were adjusted because they were out of sync with the other cells. And so it got them kind of back in sync. So I did get an adjustment, but I will never get a raise again, ever, because I'm all the way over and all the way down, unless there's a COLA, which isn't a raise, or there's an actual raise. So every year when costs go up for me, like insurance, I take a pay cut every year, as do all the teachers that are all the way over and all the way down. Other employees got retro to July. The superintendent will soon be getting his yearly automatic 3% raise, and will he also get the retro COLA? I believe the current salary for the superintendent is $313,635. So 1% retro is about $3,000, and 3% raise is $9,400. And that's just salary, not benefits or extra. I think that might be a car allowance, I don't know. I don't want that job. I just want everyone to be treated fairly. When the superintendent's original contract was given, I remember Mrs. McFarland talking about the rationale was we want to keep highly qualified people, that we want them in our district. We want those people here, we want them to be prepared. And I agree, we want that. We want that for our superintendent, we want that for all these people that work hard in this office every day, we want it for our CSEA staff, and we want it for our teachers. We surely want it for the people that are in the classroom every single day. Again, for me, all those years down, a 1% is $1,400. It's not very much money, and it's not even about the money. It's the precedent being broken that retro money was never offered to teachers. The first thing in November they were handed, they were told from ratification on, never the retro. I sent that to you in an email. And also, it's the feeling of you are not valued. And when people feel undervalued and not represented, it's hard to get to work every day, and yet they continue to work over the summer. And as we saw in the declaration of needing new teachers, we need those permits so we can get those teachers on PIPs or STIPs. I'm assuming those are the other things. PIPs and STIPs and intern certificates. Keep the ones that we have, because you know what we do? We don't only just take care of the kids, we work with those teachers too. We train them, we bring them along, we pull them along, say, come with us. And we need to recruit and retain and respect our staff to once again be the destination district, the district that I chose 35 years ago. Thank you.
Do we have any comments from board members?
Start? My personal experience watching my son, who is in a special ed class, has had subs, has had lots of challenges. I can feel for every parent that's sitting there in that same situation, because this last year has been unbelievably challenging for him. And not everyone has the ability to provide as much supplement education in that. I mean, I feel very blessed as a parent that I can go ahead and provide that. I'm an engineer, so I have the ability to help sit down and do homework, but not everyone has that ability to teach math and teach English. And that is an immense pain, to have a sub for an entire year, to not have the support, to have IEPs that are horrible. There's more that we have to be able to do and to think more further out, because it is awful. Yeah, thank you.
Council Paul, I question your report from this church on the shortage of special ed and that. Can we get it from her?
I'm sorry, Mr. Nava, what are you requesting?
Requesting the number of people that we have short in special ed.
Sure, I can get you that information. I do not have it with me presently tonight.
So you'll email it to us, you can BCC all of us.
I can do that, yes.
Thank you.
I have no comment.
And then tonight. I have no voice.
I just had a quick comment.
Sure, please.
Based on tonight and listening to these wonderful parents, dealing with such great difficulties, as well as one of our board members, it appears to me that we have a crisis. And I would, which means you need to think out of the box. I know that there's not enough special ed teachers. Even if we were to try to fill every school in California, there's just not enough people. That's a fact. You take all the graduates in SPED, you're not going to get them all in schools. There's just not enough SPED to go around. I know that we've looked at different ways of maybe looking at different countries, bringing them over and so forth. But we have a crisis. You can't have children, go 4 years without a regular teacher. It's educational homicide. And it's not what we're here for. So I challenge myself and our cabinet to look outside the box. And by that I mean, are there consultant companies that we could bring in and pay the money to fill these positions that obviously there are not enough people to get into. So what can we do? And I don't mean using, putting in front of a screen and having some person come over Zoom and try to deal with a child with special needs. Because these are the voiceless people. This is the voice of the voiceless. And our job is to take care of them. The parents that have means will take care of their kids. Those kids, the parents that have to work all the time and so forth, are struggling mightily. And we really need to, as a school district, step up. We cannot keep ignoring this. So I think we need to do something drastic. And I don't know what that is, but I will promise you I will do a lot of research because I like to do that. And look at ways that I can bring back ideas maybe that we can do as a board to help these parents who are crying for us to help them. And that's our job. So I will spend until our next meeting in July, is that correct? All right. Researching different ways because I can't hear these stories over and over again. This is 6 years. And the last 2 years have been the worst. And I just feel for the parents. And as a kid as a parent who had a kid who was somewhat ADHD and so forth, he had 2 parents at the time that were in, had the means to help, right? And a lot of parents don't. So we need to do something drastic. We just cannot ignore this. That's just my 2 cents.
Thank you, Mr. Porter. I do agree with you. Sometimes it's drastic measures that we take that are completely outside of the box, and it could be a circle or a different shape that you choose, but it's got to be something else than what we're just regularly doing to figure out a resolution to this major issue that we have. And there's no stopping autism, there's no stopping special ed, there's none of that going on. We are going to face this challenge, and it's only going to get worse if we don't address it with some sort of drastic measures that we all can quarterly and come together and think, okay, this is maybe this or maybe this. 1 or 2 measures may not work. We may have to come up with something different. So let's keep an open mind. Let's look outside the box and see what we can come to. And yes, it's not going to come just from the board. It's going to come from the parents. It's going to come from the teachers, from the cabinet. Everybody's going to have to think together. So I look forward to some kind of out-of-the-box ideas that someone can bring forth, and then we all figure out, is this something we'd like to implement? Thank you all for your comments. They're not unheard. We are listening. The board listens to them. Mr. Robinson as well. And I've seen you come several times before, and I personally wish we had an answer for you, solid answer, but there just isn't. And so there's an idea that you have, bring it to your cabinet, bring it to your superintendent. I'm sure they're willing to listen and help and do whatever we can. There's many parents like Mr. Robinson who need help from all of us. So let's get together and do this. They're our children. Together, we have to do it. I do want to thank everybody who is working this summer to get the schools ready for the next school year. Thank you. Those are the unsung heroes, and those bobcats and those forklifts, whatever they're doing out there. I know it is hot out there, and getting this work done, us sitting in air conditioning complaining about heat, it's not okay, because there's people out there working and doing this work, getting the schools ready for the next year. So thank you. There's meals being provided to children this summer. Do we know how many meals go out in the summer?
A lot, but I can get you the exact number by way of email.
A lot means several thousand meals go out, and that is commendable to everybody who gets out there and gets it done. So thank you so very much. I'm pretty sure your board expresses great gratitude to everybody who's out there this summer taking care of these children. So thank you. And I wish everybody a good summer. Hope you get some time to yourself, put your feet up. I think we do have a consensus we need to get to about the next board meeting. I'm recommending, and I would request the board to figure out if we would like to have the next week's board meeting, or can we move to the July 15th.
That's up to the board and
Can I have
consensus.
a verbal consensus from the board
Motion
to,
to remove the next board meeting, or cancel the next board meeting, what's the best wording on this? Cancel.
to cancel the next board meeting and we meet in July
I
15th?
motion to approve that.
It doesn't need a vote, it just needs consensus that you're all okay with that.
What day are we removing?
Next week.
Next week.
I'm all for this.
The 24th, we will not have a board meeting. We will come back in on July 15th. So, good. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you. And we are meeting adjourned.